Feed, sleep, repeat, that's newborn life in a nutshell. Simple in theory, overwhelming in practice. So let's talk about what those first few months actually look like. The schedules, the milestones, and when you can finally expect a full night's sleep. So baby's here, and now they're hungry. What does feeding actually look like in those first few weeks? The short answer, follow baby's lead. In the beginning, the best approach is to feed on demand, meaning whenever baby shows signs of hunger, you offer a bottle or breast. And hunger cues aren't always crying. Watch for rooting, sucking on their hands, or sticking their tongue out. You should expect to feed a newborn at least 8 to 12 times every 24 hours, and yes, that includes overnight feeds. That works out to roughly every 2 to 3 hours, although cluster feeding is normal and baby may want to eat more often. It sounds like a lot, because it is. Newborns have tiny stomachs that need to be filled often. In fact, in that very first week, you're typically looking at just 1 to 2 ounces per feeding. And here's something parents sometimes don't know. If your newborn sleeps longer than 3 to 4 hours and starts missing feedings, you should wake them up and offer them a breast or bottle. Be sure to check with your doctor about your newborn's sleeping and eating patterns to ensure they're getting enough sleep, but also enough to eat. Over the first few weeks, baby will naturally start to develop their own rhythm. As you get to know their cues and signals, you'll find it easier to anticipate when feeding time is coming. Around the 1 month mark, feeding is still frequent, but you'll notice things getting a little more predictable. Throughout that first month, baby gradually takes more at each feeding. By the time you reach the end of month 2, most babies are eating around 2 to 4 ounces per feeding every 3 to 4 hours, and doing that on a fairly regular schedule. Around 2 to 4 months, or once baby is over 12 pounds, baby may not need all of those middle-of-the-night feedings. That doesn't mean a full 8 hours of sleep just yet, though. Most babies at this stage will sleep for about 4 to 6 hours at a time. Although every baby is different, so baby may be sleeping through the night at 3 or 4 months, which is fine and means you're a lucky parent. Their stomachs have grown, they're taking in more during the day, and their sleep patterns are starting to regulate. That stretch of overnight sleep you've been dreaming about, it's getting closer. Once baby hits 4 months, you may also notice longer gaps between feedings during the day, sometimes 4 or even 5 hours at a stretch. Their stomach capacity has increased, eating 4 to 6 ounces per feeding so they can go further between meals without needing a top off. That said, every baby is different. Some will settle into this pattern right on schedule, others take a little longer. If your 4-month-old still wants a night feed, that's within the range of normal too. Fast forward to 6 months and the picture becomes a bit more consistent. By now, most babies are taking 6 to 8 ounces at each feeding, with 4 or 5 feedings spread across the day. Feeding frequency at this stage can still vary quite a bit, anywhere from every 2 hours to every 5. And if a neat, predictable routine hasn't clicked into place yet, that's okay. Not every baby gets the memo right away, or even at all. Keep following baby's cues, stay flexible, and know that the consistency you're working towards does come. It's just on baby's timeline, not yours. When baby first arrives, they come with their own internal clock, and it looks nothing like yours. In those first weeks, baby doesn't know the difference between 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. That's because they haven't yet developed their circadian rhythm, the 24-hour internal clock that eventually tells us when to sleep and when to wake. That takes time to develop, and in the meantime, expect the unexpected. Newborns typically sleep around 16 to 17 hours a day, which sounds like a lot, but they do it in short bursts, sometimes only 1 to 2 hours at a stretch. Their sleep cycles are brief, so it can feel like you've barely put them down before they're awake again. What should you do with baby when they wake up? Usually they'll be hungry, so feeding is often first on the list. After that, check out the pathways.org Baby Milestones app, which gives you a whole library of activities to try with baby during their wake periods. Every baby is different. Some will naturally drift through several sleep cycles and stay down for longer stretches. Others will wake after a short nap and need your help settling back to sleep. Neither is wrong, it's just baby finding their rhythm. Ideally, baby will sleep between each feeding, but newborns can have long crying periods and may not always drift off on schedule. Try not to stress if things don't follow a predictable pattern in these early days, because right now, there really isn't one. The good news? This will not last forever. As baby grows, their sleep needs will shift. Patterns will begin to emerge, and those stretches of rest for both of you will gradually get longer. Around the 4 to 6 week mark, you may notice the faintest hint of a pattern forming. Baby will likely settle into around 6 to 8 sleep periods throughout the day and night, each lasting roughly 2 to 4 hours. It's still far from predictable, but compared to those first chaotic weeks, it can start to feel like progress. Between 7 and 12 weeks, things begin to take a more recognizable shape. During the day, baby will typically take 3 to 4 naps, each lasting anywhere from 1 to 3 hours, but the bigger shift happens at night. This is when you can start putting baby down for the evening with the expectation of one longer, more sustained stretch of sleep, usually around 4 to 5 hours. That might sound small, but for a new parent, those hours are everything. Keep in mind, baby will still wake overnight for feeds. That's completely normal and expected, but the overall structure of the day is becoming clearer. By 12 weeks, most babies will have established a more solid day-night pattern. As they begin to understand the difference between daytime and nighttime, those overnight stretches of sleep will gradually start to lengthen, and the light at the end of the tunnel gets a little brighter. 4 months is a significant milestone in your baby's sleep journey. Up until now, their sleep has been largely unstructured, but around this age, babies begin developing more regular sleep cycles for the first time. It's a turning point, and it opens the door to some gentle but important changes in how you approach bedtime. One of the most valuable habits you can build at this stage is putting baby down while they're drowsy but not yet fully asleep. It might feel counterintuitive, especially when you've spent weeks doing whatever it takes to get them down. But here's why it matters. If baby always falls asleep being held or rocked, they may struggle to fall back to sleep on their own when they naturally wake up between sleep cycles during the night. Letting them drift off in their own bed teaches them how to do that. Remember, baby's needs still come first, so once the crying starts, you're needed again. Giving them that space, as hard as it can be, is one of the most important things you can do to support healthy sleep habits. This is also the age where a consistent bedtime routine starts to make a real difference. Follow the same routine every night, and over time, baby will begin to recognize the cues that tell them sleep is coming. A good bedtime routine doesn't need to be complicated, just consistent. Aim for around 30 to 45 minutes of calm, winding down activities to help your little one transition from the busyness of the day to a restful night. A warm bath is a great place to begin. The science behind it is fascinating. Bathing baby in warm water stimulates blood flow to their extremities, which causes their core temperature to cool slightly, triggering a response closely linked to the onset of sleep. Following that up with cozy sleepwear keeps the calm going. From there, slow things down further with quiet activities like reading, soft music, gentle rocking, or light movement, whatever helps baby shift gears. End with a feed about 15 minutes before putting them down to settle their tummy and bring on a little natural drowsiness. There will be tough nights and the occasional regression, but consistency really is the key. Baby will come to recognize these cues over time, and the routine will begin to work for both of you. Other than feeding and sleeping, your newborn will have short stretches of awake time, and it can be tough to know what to do with such a tiny baby. The good news is they're not looking for entertainment, they're looking for you. So simple, low-key interaction is exactly what their developing brain needs. A great free resource is the Pathways.org Baby Milestones app, which offers easy, free activities to bond with your baby and support their motor, sensory, feeding, and communication development, plus a few parent hacks to make newborn life a little easier along the way. The first few months of parenthood are a lot. They're exhausting, they're beautiful, and they go faster than anyone warns you they will. There's no perfect schedule, no magic number of ounces, no secret trick that works for every baby. What there is you, learning baby day by day and feed by feed. The sleepless nights won't last forever. The patterns will come. And one morning, you'll wake up and realize baby slept through, and so did you. Trust the process and trust yourself. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel and check out our other social media accounts in the description below. It's never too early or too late to get baby on the right pathway.